Novacaine, the new, let's say, I want to say action slash dark comedy with Jack Quaid in it. Jack Quaid has been in a couple of movies this year. Well, the most notable I would say is a Companion. And in this movie, he does pretty well. Like, if you've seen through the trailers, he's a guy who he doesn't feel any pain. It's through a thing called SEPA. I don't remember the exact what exactly all that means, but it basically comes down to he can't feel pain, so he has some restrictions where even he doesn't even want to eat solid food for the risk of possibly biting off his own tongue. There's stuff like that going on in this, and he feels like he's fallen in love, and through that he's thrown into a crazy situation. Like, he's a I don't know. He's not a bank teller. He's the person under the bank manager. He's the next guy in the list there, who would know the bank code, and then his bank gets robbed, and then the story kind of progresses from there. But one sidetrack from there. Before that, he's been having a crush on one of the bank tellers for a minute now. It's been it's implied it's been a couple months, and then they end up hooking up. She learns a lot about him. She actually starts feeling for him. All that stuff goes down. And then the movie kind of begins because the bank heist happens. The bank manager gets nicked. He's gone. And then he goes on a quest to go to find her. And because he kind of has what they basically said, it's almost a superpower, not being able to feel pain. Well, as much as that is a thing, there's people out there that have that. There's things in this movie that are like, okay, you've lost so much blood and whatever. So there's definitely a massive suspension of disbelief. Other than that, I would say the movie is actually kind of fun. Like, I had a pretty good time watching it. Like, there were some funny moments in it. The only thing that I would say is a thing that I've been saying, I feel like a lot about a lot of movies lately, especially with their trailers, is some of the cooler parts in this movie are shown in the trailers. So something you see in the trailer, you see him start to do the thing, and then you're like, oh, I kind of think I know how that's going to go. Well, when you watch the movie, you know how it's going to go. And then as you watch the movie, there's some pretty simple plot points where you're like, of course, and yes, and you can put most of this movie together pretty straightforwardly. So there's that. If you can get past that point, I'd say it's entertaining. It's fun. There's some pretty funny moments in it. Like, I at least saw it with I would say a relatively mild crowd. Like, the crowd wasn't like, oh, like they weren't dying at everything that happened, but there were some definitely funny parts. But also, it's another one of those, like I said earlier, it suffers from too much was shown in the trailers. Like, the trailers need to stop killing movies like this, like these kind of more low budget movies. I know you want to show like your cooler and better parts about the movie because that's a selling point. But when you're watching the movie, if that's the best part of your movie, or if these are some of the best parts of your movie, don't show the best parts of your movie in these trailers. You guys need to stop doing that. Because other than that, like, this movie's, it's fine. It's fine. It's not knocking out of the park. It's not going to, I'm not going to sit in there and be like, you guys need to go see this now. I'm not saying that at all. If you go out to watch it, you'll probably have a decent time with it. The action is fine. Like, the setups, they're a little contrived, but I mean, it's as straightforward as the trailer makes it, and they need to stop doing this with these trailers. This is just, to me, it's another example of a trailer kind of ruined the movie, and I know you need to sell these movies because of trailers and stuff, but I don't know, maybe just pick one scene, and then maybe, even though people would be mad about replaying one scene, if you're a smaller studio like this, replay that one scene. Just do it. And people would be like, well, if that's all you're willing to show us, it makes me think that there might be cooler stuff there. I'm not saying that's in this movie, but movies need to do that more often. Just show us some interesting things, and then, don't get me wrong. Yes, let's obviously hope for more of that, but also hopefully you do have more of that. Like, come on, like, Stop giving us all of it in these trailers, because this is like it shows the gimmick. The gimmick is well known. It's very well established very quickly. It's established even in the trailers. It's established very early on in the movie itself, and the gimmick starts falling flat after a while. Like you're like, well, is there something else about this? Is there a kryptonite to this gimmick? Is there something this? And it's just like, I don't feel it really does any of that. I think overall it's a good, decent movie. If you got like a weekend and you just, well, not a weekend, just a random day on the weekend, and you want something to do for what is it, roughly an hour 45, maybe 2 hours. So maybe it might have been a little too long, because they established most of the stuff that's going on relatively early in the movie. And then, do you really need all that? I don't know. And I actually know people in real life that have been saying they don't like Jack Quaid. I don't mind the guy. Like, he's fine. But if you want to see a good Jack Quaid movie, go watch Companion. He was much better in Companion. This movie, you'll have a decent time with it. You're not going to sit there and ride home about it and be like, you got to see this movie. Like, I don't see anybody talking about this movie in a week or two. Shit, I don't even see people talking about it now. So there you go. I had a decent time with it. I'm not going to go rewatch it, but I try to watch any new thing, especially if they're more indie. So there you go. I had a good time. There's fun action. If you haven't seen the trailer, but you're interested in this movie, don't watch the trailer. Go watch the movie. You'll actually enjoy it way more than if you watch the trailer. With that said, you guys all have a good time. Peace out.